Saw Lukaku for Manchester United. And that win over Manchester City as well. Getting the bragging rights, maybe a psychological edge for later in the season. And this one means a lot with all the talk around Neymar.
Messi gets on with it. He's on a hat-trick, Neymar, lest we forget. With a long, long way to go in this game. Switch by Marquisio. It's reached Lichtsteiner. Tried to give it to Lamine. It wasn't really on, was it? Iniesta at the walk, strolling around, sorts it all out.
Granted, that is a Juve defence without the departed Bonucci and without Chiellini, who's not involved at the moment. But it's a Barca attack without Luis Suarez as well. But Neymar can do it all on his own, it seems.
Sergi Samper.
There is a release clause in his contract, of course, but PSG will have to agree terms with the player too. Either way, he'll have earned himself a bit more money, I think.
Well, the money's just fantasy talk in a sense. It doesn't bear any relationship to real life and normal people, all this in the modern game, but he is looking a priceless talent.
Yeah, exactly. You think it's a massive figure, the release clause, 222 million in his contract, but very few players in the world can do what he's just done.
Juventus really look shell-shocked, don't they? They've just begun to work their way into the game. Neymar's now proved he's human after all, but Messi has it. Here comes the next wave. Alcacer, he knew that Neymar was there. Lichtsteiner at the stretch, got enough on it just. Iniesta, what a little ball that is. I think Juve should start worrying if Barcelona really do get into top gear in this game, don't you?
Yeah, Juve just about hanging on there. Virtually every attack at this stage. It's a case of firefighting for Juve right now. Need to try and get a foothold in the game somehow.
Marquisio. Trying to get Juve going, but he's run up a blind alley there, and there's a lot of that with Juventus at the moment. They don't look particularly structured. Admittedly, without Higuain and Dybala, who were their main men up front last season, there's nothing happening out there for Juve.
Talk of Coutinho and Dybala replacing Neymar, should he go. They'd have to up their game, judging by this, to replace Neymar, who's still only 25, remember. That's his best years in front of him.
Nicely worked again, beautifully done. Good cover by Benatia. Alcacer denied. Got 6 goals from his limited game time in La Liga last season, Alcacer.
It's almost like everyone's taking a collective breather just to take in what they've just witnessed.
Padua Samoa. Lemire is doing his best to put himself about and try to energise this performance a little bit. The crowd are absolutely in raptures here in the MetLife Stadium. They've got already what they came for, Mark. Those moments of magic.
Absolutely. A few more to come, no doubt.
Messi, not quite the angle on it for Alcacer, and he's not quite as sharp over the ground as Luis Suarez, in fairness. Alex Vidal wasn't holding back with that. Only back from long-term injury himself, Alex Vidal, of course.
And he's got the first yellow of the game.
Well, is it for him or Rakitic? I don't know. Rakitic maybe trying to be the intermediary.
Didn't look that bad on second viewing.
We believe it was for the tackle, not the chat. A rare touch for Silerson here.
It might sound a bit harsh, but I think he's an example of where Barcelona got it wrong last season with their transfers. Alca there as well. Andre Gomes, Portuguese midfielder, was their most expensive recruit, and he had a nightmare of a time. Big step up from Valencia to Barcelona, even if he was part of the Portuguese side that won Euro 2016.
Swept across the face of goal by Lucas Dean. Alcacer, former Valencia man, got there. Rakitic to Messi. Just incredible telepathic link-up play between the two of them. The whistle had gone. It's a free kick to Barcelona. Had the referee played the advantage, who knows?
There's still quality play from Messi at the end of it. It's the only way Juve can handle Neymar right now.
Unless they actually just put handcuffs on him. Time for plan B, perhaps.
Might be on to C or D by now.
Neymar on a hat-trick, remember, but it's Messi this time. And that's Messi defending by Juventus. Mandzukic tried to put it in the Hudson River.
Unusual to see Barcelona have 3 free kicks and come nowhere near scoring on any of them. That's a sign of the times, though. That clearance for Juventus anywhere will do, just to give themselves a chance to regroup.
Neymar's taking the corner. Iniesta. Just strolling around, picking out the passes.
Some very good players out there for Juve right now. It's not their strongest team, but they're being made to look pretty ordinary at the moment.
You're right, and you know it is a Juventus team, and it's in the club's DNA. Whoever's playing on any given day, you'll make it difficult for the opposition. That's the one thing they do par excellence, and they have just been embarrassed, really, in certain aspects so far. Tidy by Sergi Samper. Rakitic. Mascherano, no pressure at all on the ball. That's one standout feature, making it much easier for Barcelona, and that is not the Juventus way. Just a hit and hope really from Lichtsteiner, wasn't it? Nothing doing there for Juve. And normally they've got Alexandro down that left side, who is an absolute flyer. Asamoah's a steady citizen by comparison. At least he's picked out a decent ball, and the ball to Lamina wasn't good enough from Sturaro.
Pretty basic stuff there from Juventus. Chance for them to get back into the game.
One back by Marchisio. PK, no problems at all. Mandzukic frustrated with himself.
Well, he had that big chance from the header. Mandzukic, in most of the big games for Juventus last season, of course, sacrificing himself by playing out on the left wing.
He's a big fella, and they tell me his ego is about as big as he is, so it was against his better judgment to do it for the good of the team, and it was a winning team, of course, but he will have probably seen today as an opportunity to say to the manager, you know, it's a new season, and really I am a central attacker, so can we forget last year? The only problem is they have been taken apart in this first half.
I think it's a sign of a good manager that he was able to get Mandzukic to agree to that. He was pretty effective in that role as well.
As ineffective as Mandzukic has been in this first half, Rodrigo Bentancur, I'm afraid, is having a debut to forget for Juventus so far. Here's Neymar. Messi. Neymar for three. Well, between them, Juve's desperate defenders got it clear to deny him the hat-trick.
Well, that would have been perfect. Absolutely glorious scooped pass from Messi to set it up as well.
Yet another free kick, and Marchisio getting a bit tired of all this, a bit frustrated, a bit embarrassed. Barzali coming in to act the peacemaker. No point people losing their heads about it.
And I think Neymar proved Marchisio's point by hopping straight back up there. Need to see the replay, of course, but Neymar's back on his feet now.
Well, that's Marchisio's case, but Neymar will say, you know, don't take me down and expect me to be happy about it.
Yeah, there's a clear foul as well. Marchisio just didn't want them to stay down and make too much out of it. I suppose it's understandable his frustration. He is from Turin. One of the men as well who won the 6 titles in a row, along with Buffon.
The only thing that they've done well in this first half is that they've put up a defensive wall, and all the free kicks from these positions so far have hit the wall. I know it's a bit like clutching at straws, but it's been that kind of game. What this time? Messi. And Buffon gets a hand on it.
And Buffon made that look pretty easy. Good free kick this time from Messi. Well, I don't think he did get a touch, did he? Maybe slight touch. Clipped the woodwork on the way as well.
Neymar takes it. Asamoah caught in a dither here, and he's lost the ball. Messi. Asamoah doing his very best to dig himself and his teammates out, and he just about did that. Nobody said it was going to be a friendly, incidentally.
Yeah, Lichtsteiner signalling that there was an elbow in there somewhere. He'd recognise one. He's master of the dark arts himself.
Certainly an irony in that. Iniesta just has glue on his boots, doesn't he? It's just ridiculous how easy he has always made the game look. Dean. Here comes the circus master, taking on and torturing Lichtsteiner again.
I think Lichtsteiner's maybe a little unfortunate there.
The card has been brandished again. It may have been for Lichtsteiner, not Sturaro. We'll try and confirm that for you. To me, there was more of Lichtsteiner than Sturaro in that, but
I'm not sure there was much of a foul, though.
Well, everybody here is standing to applaud because it has been utterly remarkable. Neymar, with so much speculation swirling around, has put it all to one side and stolen the show completely. Even Messi has had to play a secondary role, but the link-up play between the two has been way too good for one of the best opponents they're ever going to face. Juventus just torn asunder by Neymar, Messi, Iniesta and the rest, and for a first day back it's hard to beat what Barcelona have put on here. Juventus 0, Barca 2 at half-time. A little part of him who enjoyed it as a football lover in the first period, as much as Juventus's pride has been stung. So wholesale changes by Barcelona, particularly at the break. But what we've already seen, we will not forget. Neymar and Leo Messi going to sit out the second period. They have done the damage already.
I think it's no coincidence that Chiellini is on for Juventus. Maybe it was planned anyway, but certainly need him out there just to settle that defence. Samuel Umtiti is on for Barcelona as well at the back.
And alongside him, another of the new faces for the new campaign, Marlon Santos, another Brazilian, signed from Fluminense of Rio de Janeiro, wearing the 2 jersey.
An important transfer window for Barca, I think. As I said in the first half, I don't think the players they brought in last season necessarily improved the team all that much.
Nelson Semedo to Marlon. On Titi.
Sergio Busquets is in the middle as well for Barca. Looks like it's virtually a new team.
Sergio Roberto has come in to sit alongside Sergio Busquets in the middle of the park. Carlos Elena making his bow here for Barca. From Juve's side, Mark, it's still a back 4.
And still a lot of the same players out there as well. Just a chance for them to maybe get that first half out of their minds, try and produce something a little bit better in the second half, particularly for Bentancur. It could be important. The Juve number 30 is actually part of the deal that saw Boca Juniors sign Carlos Tevez a couple of years ago. Juve got the option on a few of Boca's younger players, and Bentancur, at 20 years old, the Uruguay under 20 international, is the first of those to arrive. Arrives as a league winner as well with Boca in Argentina. Marlon arriving from Brazil. Interesting to see what he's made of.
Well, my information is he's made of the right stuff. Here's Luis Suarez. Marlon, as a 20-year-old, was named last year in Brazilian football in the what they call the Carioca Select 11, which is all the Rio clubs, and you can imagine the depth of talent there. The very best players from all those that local area of Brazilian football. Barcelona's brilliant information network and scouting network in South America coming in very, very handy again.
Pjanic on for Juventus and fouled by Busquets.
Certainly one of the main men last season, Pjanic. Better touch by Bentancur. Here is Pjanic. Benatia has Chiellini alongside him here in the second half. The venerable Chiellini out to Asamoah. Need to move the ball better as well, don't they, Juve, as well as trying to make life a bit more difficult for Barcelona. It was very staccato when in possession. Here comes Chiellini. Out to Asamoah. Decent ball in. Well, a little bit of work for Silason to do after being a spectator first half. Jordi Alba, left back, not the tallest. Was that the easiest team talk he'll ever have as a Barcelona boss? Yes.
I'd say so. Although, a bit hard for some of these guys coming on now to perform after that. Right, show us what you can do.
Bottom of screen, all the players who've come on.
I think Juve started the game well enough for the first 10 minutes, but really lost their way after that. Blown away, really. And they certainly are missing the likes of Dybala and Higuain. Big signing for them last summer, of course, 90 million euros once they sold Pogba for 105 to Manchester United.
Just to clarify on that caption, of course, the number 5 in possession here is Sergio Busquets. Chiellini had to race for it.
Higuain finished last season with 24 goals in Serie A, no penalties. A couple of big ones in the Champions League as well. What a job Allegri's done at Juventus. 2 Champions League finals in 3 years.
But the heartbreak goes on for them, doesn't it? No team has lost more through their history. Asamoah had to race for that, got there, did well. And he worked it nicely. Bentancur, decent ball from him too, fired over the top by Pjanic.
Yeah, very good chance that for Juventus. Asamoah getting forwards better from Bentancur. And Pjanic could have done a little bit better, didn't really control the shot at all there. Just on the run of finals for Juventus, I was looking back at the previous meetings of these two sides, and of course before the 2015 final, the last competitive meeting was in 2003. Juventus beating Barcelona after extra time in the Champions League, and that was a year they lost in the final as well. And Buffon is back on the team all that way back in that final against Milan that they lost on penalties. The only survivor, as you'd expect from that time.
Luis Suarez turned his man well and turned back inside, gets another go at it, and Szczesny involved for the first time, and the second time he escapes. Somehow Arda Turan couldn't turn it in, which kind of sums up how it's gone for Arda Turan at Barcelona.
Yeah, he's another player that's had a mixed spell, to say the least. Suarez, though, brings that chaos really to
should be 3 really. Pjanic. It's given away by Denis Suarez.
certainly a more even second half anyway. See the quality that Suarez brings to Barcelona, though. one of the best front trios of all time when they're all on the pitch together. Messi, Suarez and Neymar went and beat Real Madrid away from home, of course, late on in the season in La Liga. Left themselves with too much to do in the end, Barcelona, although it has to be said that Real Madrid held their nerve very well down the back stretch.
Denis Suarez struggling to get into it. A couple of loose touches from him. He's 23 now. You don't get too many opportunities to make your mark at Barcelona.
Well, interesting to see the president, Bartomeu, when Valverde was appointed, he did stress that he promotes young players. So that was one of the reasons they appointed him. Never finished lower than 7th in the table with Athletic Bilbao in his previous job. Worked under Johan Cruyff when he was a player at Barca as well, so I'm sure he learnt a few things from him.
Yes, they've certainly watched his progress over the years elsewhere. He had 2 spells in Greece, actually, at Olympiacos as well. Built his reputation. But it's like being given the keys of the kingdom, isn't it, to get this job with this group of players. Still got to manage them all. Luis Enrique's tenure was not straightforward. It never is at a big club.
Might be all they need, though, as well. Barcelona. Enrique had 3 years in the job. Didn't do too badly overall, in fairness, and maybe a change of voice will do the team good this season. Different approach.
Well, I think it's also a job that leaves the man in charge exhausted after 3 years. It's so demanding. Nelson Semedo. Arda Turan gets a throw, and a friendly little salute from Chiellini. Looks like it's going to be Dybala here for Juventus, and Cuadrado helpfully standing in the camera shot.
And Douglas Costa as well, debut for him. So Juve should have a lot more to offer in attack now as Higuain enters as well.
Put on a few players who can do a bit of damage going the other way. Bentancur off.
Yeah, a bit of a tough introduction for Bentancur, but he has good pedigree. Got to the a long way in the World Under-20 Cup as well. Scored in a penalty shootout against Venezuela in the semi-finals, but Uruguay losing out.
Alexandro is on at left back. Higuain up top. Cuadrado down the right. Dybala in behind the main striker, and Douglas Costa on the left. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it might tip the scales a little bit in this game, because they've emptied their bench and unleashed a full arsenal as well of attacking talents. Really interesting to see how Douglas Costa gets on.
Broke for Luis Suarez. Arda Turan. Sergio Roberto made a very good run. It wasn't picked out. Elena has it now. Jordi Alba. Regathered by Sergio Busquets. Denis Suarez. Barca looking for a handball then. Won back again by Sergio Busquets. And Suarez does not get the free kick. Alexandro for Juve, to Dybala. Bit more like it. I would say if I was a Juventus fan coming to this carnival, Mark, I would have liked to have seen all the main men on from the start for Juve.
Yeah, I guess we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There may be a good reason why some of these players are only getting half an hour. But it would have been an even better match, perhaps, with a couple of those guys on. And I think Douglas Costa's a good signing for Juve. Here he is on the ball.
Picked out a decent ball to Dybala. Still it's an equal to it. It was on target. And the new men, the main men up front, wasting little time, making an impact.
Yeah, Dybala got a couple of goals against Barcelona in the Champions League quarter-finals. And already getting a shot away.
And there's a very big Juve following here. And they've got something to shout about, and Chiellini has scored.
Yeah, Dybala got 2 against Barcelona in that Champions League quarter-final. Chiellini got the other goal in that 3-0 win for Juve, and a thumping header here means it's game on.
Got up above Marlon, and in between him and Nelson Semedo.
Yeah, great delivery from the corner. Slightly worrying from a Barca point of view. Chiellini is very good in the air, but the two defenders maybe could have done a bit better there.
The goal 62 refers to the minute, not the number of goals he's got in his whole career. I don't think you needed explaining actually, but what's rare is beautiful. Denis Suarez gives it away again. There's been quite a change in the plot here. Barcelona have not had a shot here second half yet. Obviously that miss by Arda Turan from no range at all, but I think it kind of proves the point. Forward by Nelson Semedo.
I think they had 11 shots in the first half. They were swarming all over you. Barcelona team. And Douglas Costa setting up a goal, or a chance that led to a goal in the end already. On loan from Bayern Munich. They apparently spent about 6 million euros just to have him for the year. I think he could be a very good signing. He'll just give them that extra edge in attack. You could really see in the Champions League final, once Real Madrid got back in front, Juve offered very little.
Well, a potentially very potent pairing between these two, Alexandro and Douglas Costa. Switch by Pjanic. Cut out by Denis Suarez. Elena goes over, gets a free kick for Barca.
Yeah, I don't think Douglas Costa did all that badly at Bayern Munich. Signed for 30 million by Pep Guardiola. And Ribery and Robben in front of him.
Luis Suarez trying to trick his way past Chiellini. Chiellini wasn't having it. Umtiti, Jordi Alba. Umtiti has to go back for it. Carlos Elena. Arda Turan looking for Suarez. It's over his head. Very coolly done by De Sciglio. Douglas Costa.
Yeah, not the best of balls that time, but you can see every time he gets it, head up, trying to create something. As I mentioned, Robin and Ribery ahead of him. Ribery 10 years at Bayern, royalty in Bavaria at this stage. Tough competition for the Brazilian.
Competition at any of these big clubs is always intense, of course. Bayern not at their best in this International Champions Cup so far, beaten on penalties by Arsenal after dominating the game, in fairness, but no match for Milan in Shenzhen earlier today. Different time zone, of course.
And Milan have signed some good players ahead of the new season. Bonucci, of course, Hakan Çalhanoğlu, Bayer Leverkusen.
Jordi Alba with the pullback, and it's fired over the top of the bar. Very presentable chance. More than that, really, squandered by Denis Suarez. And I mentioned he's just struggling, isn't he?
Yeah, lovely ball over the top. The cutback was perfect as well. Nice first touch, and really when he had the time to size up that shot, he should at least hit the target.
Problem I think he's got is that, you know, he did have a chance last season. He started 12 games in La Liga and was involved in 26. Sergio Roberto, stock in trade for him. He loves a tackle. Good tackle it was too. An enforcer. Looks like it's Mehdi Bernadi has gone off here. Reunited with Douglas Costa this season, of course. Mondragon is on. They were together at Bayern a year or two ago. Pjanic. Nice ball to Cuadrado. Higuain wanted it fed to him quickly. It didn't come. Cuadrado still. Pjanic again. He's picked out one or two good balls, hasn't he? And putting Jordi Alba under pressure. Higuain forcing the corner. Much better from Juventus.
Higuain given out to Cuadrado after that for taking so long.
But they're forcing the issue, and they didn't do that in the first half. And paid for it.
Certainly looking more potent in attack as well. The fans getting behind them now. Scored from the last corner kick.
Firm headed by Sergio Busquets. Douglas Costa. Again, he's all a dither Denis Suarez, isn't he? I'm afraid. Gave it away very cheaply then. Umtiti half clear. Again, Pjanic in the right place. Dybala has it. Thought we might have seen a little Redondo there in the corner, actually.
We thought about it. Now it's Barca's turn to struggle a little bit to clear their lines in this second half.
Douglas Costa, that's not his best ball. Alexandro can't get there. Cleared by Semedo, nice weight on it. Arda Turan. Carlos Elena. Suarez doing his best to get involved again. Luis Suarez trying to barrel his way through.
Well, he went down in a heap straight away, putting his hand up in the air, and a clash with Chiellini. Those two have just a bit of history.
Well, every time he throws himself like that, he belongs in the circus, but I think there was contact there, wasn't there? And that is actually going to hurt.
Yeah, it should be okay to continue, though. And some people, especially in Europe, question the wisdom of these teams having friendlies in far-flung places, but certainly on the basis of this game, you can see why. Quite apart from anything for the thousands in the ground, it's a great spectacle and chance to see their heroes.
Crowd have absolutely loved it, yeah, loved it.
I think the players probably feed off it as well in such a big stadium against the quality side in front of them. They can't help but get into the game. Certainly this has been high quality stuff for the most part.
Pjanic. Juventus still in touch.
Szczesny's had very little to do in this second half.
Well, one lucky escape. I suppose he was blameless had Arda Turan turned it in as he should have done. But considering how that they were battered first half when Buffon was in goal, this could be quite a change. Nelson Semedo is so quick, incidentally, the new right back here. I'd quite like to see a race between him and Alexandro over 60 metres.
Like Dani Alves, who had a great year with Juventus last season, having left Barcelona.
Sergio Roberto, scorer of that famous goal, the last one of the 6, as they rescued it against Paris Saint-Germain. Elena, 19, the boy wearing 16, looking very comfortable, the 19-year-old. Nice step over by Denis Suarez, and Szczesny, safe, secure.
Well, that was more like it. Lovely step over here. Suarez with the first time ball back in. Easy enough save in the end.
I suppose Juventus will have hoped to weaken one of their biggest rivals, their nearest chasers of last season, Roma, by taking their goalkeeper.
Yeah, played every game in the league as well for Roma, did Szczesny. I think they're going to have a few rivals this season. Serie A shaping up to be very interesting.
Luis Suarez was trying to pick the pocket of young Rolando Mandragora. They bought him from from Genoa, I should say. Genoa, 6 million they paid for him as an 18-year-old. And then they loaned him out last season to Serie B Pescara, where he played a season. Must be highly thought of. Douglas Costa. Alexandro. Great ball in, fired over the top by Higuain.
Yeah, again, the Barcelona team has changed a lot in this second half, but you can see the difference the Juventus players coming on have made. They look so much more threatening, and Higuain, I feel he should have hit the target there.
24 in Serie A last season. with all that scrutiny on him, almost Neymar-like, wasn't it? People were asking, well, why would you spend 90 million on Gonzalo Higuain? And again, a case in point, you know, they really weakened a rival by taking him off Napoli, didn't they?
Certainly did. Napoli, as yet, have not lost anyone this summer.
Dybala got so far and no further. Carlos Elena. Semedo to Arda Turan. Sergio Roberto very tidy. Arda Turan. Juve a bit stretched here. Arda Turan once more. Miscue by Suarez.
Yeah, rare to see that from Suarez. He's normally so sharp.
Jordi Alba wins it fair and square off Cuadrado. Is Arda Turan a part of the plan at Barcelona, I wonder? Maybe a new manager has come at a good time for him, giving him a fresh opportunity to make headway in his career. Luis Suarez. In his cap.
I'm sure he enjoyed that, and Suarez still hobbling a little bit, maybe a dead leg from that last little tussle with Chiellini.
Or maybe he just wanted to persuade the cameraman. That's Douglas Costa in goal side of Semedo. Not much power in it.
Yeah, that's what you get with Douglas Costa, very direct player, still only 26. No one in the middle for him, so he went alone. Semedo making it difficult for him.
Barca free kick. Just a reminder that should Juve come back and level it at 2-2, we would have penalties here.
Well, one player who was involved in a penalty shootout relatively recently was Juve defender Rolando Mandragora for Italy under-20s at the World Cup in South Korea back in May. He finished third after losing to England in the semi-finals. They beat Uruguay on penalties. And Mandragora scored one against Uruguayan side that had the new Juve signing in it, Rodrigo Bentancur.
Arda Turan. Nelson Semedo. Sergio Roberto went again. Jordi Alba read his run. Denis Suarez. Elena made the room for himself and tried to steer it into the corner with that left foot. Elegant looking player, isn't he? The 19-year-old.
Yeah, nice effort as well. I think Szczesny had his angles covered here, but used defender as a screen almost to try and sneak it into the corner.
Hasn't quite had the dazzling attacking play either way in this second half, but the crowd's enthusiasm for the occasion undimmed. It's a hugely ambitious global project, this, but you know, when you come to a stadium of this grandeur with such a huge crowd, good job, fantastic.
Definitely, no one will leave the stadium tonight disappointed with what they've seen.
And I think, you know, obviously there's a financial element to it for all these major clubs involved in it, but they also value the chance to meet each other in a competitive environment with the juices flowing a little bit, rather than, say, you know, 82,000 here tonight, rather than being out in a mountain camp in the Alps and they play a pre-season friendly watched by 25 people.
Yeah, exactly. I think, as I said, I think they just feed off this crowd as well. The crowd demanding entertainment, and the players have to deliver.
Does help stop any boredom creeping in as well, doesn't it, when you're travelling around the great cities of the United States? Get a half a day off here and there, go and do some sightseeing.
Yeah, makes perfect sense for the clubs, really. Great stadiums too.
Chiellini's not going to give up on this, is he? Taking on all comers. Denis Suarez. That's brilliant. But no end product. Fell for Barca nonetheless. Sergio Roberto onto it. Luis Suarez. Arda Turan. Mondragora got a good block on him. Sergio Busquets. Arda Turan looking for Suarez. Steers it.
Yes, Suarez scooping one into the middle for Turan, and just a few moments later Turan returned the favour. As he said though, Szczesny made it very difficult for the Uruguayan to finish this one off.
Pjanic. He's restored a bit of order in the middle of the field, Pjanic, hasn't he? Kept the ball much better for Juventus. Great little ball over the top then to Dybala, and in fairness, a very good recovery by Umtiti, but now Higuain has it. Suarez took a little bit of a risk, got away with it. Sergio Roberto, Juve are short-handed here. Arda Turan, Elena. Well, they were queuing up, had so many options. Cuadrado. Dybala back to him. Got a free kick, surely, Cuadrado, yes.
He's been quiet so far, the Colombian, since coming on. Big season for him too, having signed permanently now from Chelsea.
Alexandro. Gathered by Cuadrado. Back where it came from. Nice by Arda Turan.
Very little movement on both occasions for those crosses that came in from Sandro and Cuadrado.
Sergio Roberto did well again. Denis Suarez. Mondragora almost the last man all alone. Chiellini chucked his way back in time. Luis Suarez now.
The other thing we're not privy to is how much work these two teams are doing on match days and ahead of match days. I remember Neil Lennon, the former Celtic manager, doing double sessions and sessions on the morning of pre-season friendly games.
I'd be very surprised if they weren't, actually. I think it's the modern game now, Mark. You know, 25, 30 years ago, players would come back to pre-season out of condition. It just doesn't happen anymore at top level. Arda Turan went on and on.
Well, the result in that case was Celtic losing heavily on a few matches in their German tour. That's why I have to be careful reading into pre-season results, but as you say, two teams like this meeting, well, the evidence is there. They're both pretty sharp, some of the players.
Chesney dealt with it well. I think it's been a theme of the whole tournament, both in Asia and in the United States.
Well, they don't get much time off at all these days, even post-season friendly matches in some cases.
Luis Suarez got it to Sergio Roberto, who went on and on. Oh, he seemed to have done the hardest part.
Yeah, it's like you said, he definitely did do the hardest part, to create the space, and then just needed to take half a second to compose himself.
He's not the most elegant Barcelona footballer you're ever going to see, but I always watch him and think he belongs in a Barcelona jersey somehow. I know it's in the family and so on, but he plays to his strengths. Suarez has got the free kick. There's no Messi nor Neymar, of course.
Well, if memory serves, Sergio Roberto got that goal, of course, against PSG, but he also helped set up Messi for the winner at the Bernabeu in that dramatic game towards the end of the season.
Is this Luis Suarez moment? Luis Suarez takes it.
He's not on free kick duty for Barcelona at the moment. Always looks to be struggling with something, Suarez. Always looks like he wants to win. Evidence there from down through the years in his career, not for the most noble reasons, but I get the impression that even if he's playing a five-a-side, he'll be playing the exact same way.
Some players need to feel the world is against them, that they have to prove it every single day. He's one of them. Cuadrado. Back to him by Pjanic. Alexandro. Should be a couple of additional minutes at the end of this. Here's Douglas Costa. Titi and Semedo clearing their lines. Surely not. Less said about that, the better from the young man. It will be 2
Cross in from Costa, and yet again the front men from Juventus not really interested, not really pushing themselves to get into that area. I'd say that would be different if it was a competitive fixture.
Now, having wasted possession, will Juve see the ball again here, I wonder? Luis Suarez. Alexandro got a touch on it. Cuadrado to Douglas Costa. He can't keep it. Well won back by Nelson Semedo. Here goes Elena. Denis Suarez. Busquets. Keep ball, isn't it, by Barca?
Yeah, they look pretty good. 3 games against Real Madrid to come up in quick succession as well.
Would not surprise me afterwards if Allegri has a little word with Mandragora. That's why we try not to give the ball away, because it can take several minutes to get it back.
Now Barca just closing out the game now at this stage.
Bit cheeky by Luis Suarez. Far be it from me, but should he not be booked for doing that?
It shows his will to win again.
I don't want to give him a fresh reason to have a vendetta, but you're not allowed to do that, and he knows it, friendly or not. Can Juve muster anything here before this final whistle goes? Chiellini has again gone forward. Layoff by Higuain, Dybala. Higuain got turned, stopped by Umtiti. No time for any more, and the crowd in the MetLife Stadium rises to acclaim. Ernesto Valverde begins life as Barcelona's boss with a victory over Juventus, and even in a friendly in pre-season, that is worth having. But what was special is what happened in the first half before all the changes. Nobody let him down in either half, but Neymar and Messi were simply stratospherically good in the first 45 minutes of this, and Juve frankly were embarrassed at half-time and did very well to make it respectable. Juve 1, Barcelona 2. At home, and then denying Barca another unlikely comeback in the campaign last season with a characteristic stonewall performance in the Nou Camp and a 0-0 draw. So time for the Barcelona players to focus on the football. Inevitably the transfer speculation surrounding the club has impacted on daily life since they've been here in the United States. Reports that several of the senior Barcelona players have been trying to persuade Neymar to think again about moving away. Maybe it's working. In terms of transfers, Wojciech Szczesny's completed the formalities on his move from Arsenal, but as you've seen, it is the ageless Gigi Buffon who will start in goal for Juventus. Dani Alves also departing. Matteo Di Sciglio, the highly rated youngster from Milan, has signed on for Juventus, but Stefan Lichtsteiner gets a chance to stake his claim for a more permanent role in what was once his natural position for Juventus. Bonucci's departure from Milan, for Milan, the biggest transfer story certainly of the summer, a bombshell really. Benatia will start, and behind Mandzukic, a place for the young Argentine Rodrigo Bentancur, who makes his Juve debut here this evening in New Jersey. Juventus also welcoming Douglas Costa on loan from Bayern, but Douglas Costa, like Dybala and Gonzalo Higuain, will be on the bench. And as for Barca, it's Luis Suarez, the one who misses out. He is on the Barca bench. Neymar and Messi do start. Confirmation of the starting lineups then, with Asamoah at left back, and as I mentioned, Lichtsteiner in the right full-back position in a back four. Some debate last season with Allegri and his senior players as to whether it should be a 3 or a 4. And Barcelona with Paco Alcácer up front, no Luis Suarez among the substitutes, and in the middle of the park, Sergi Samper. Big moment in his Barcelona career, back from a loan spell at Granada and getting the chance to stake a claim here. Ed Jurasevich in charge. So Barcelona have ditched the garish yellow training tops for their